Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Maria and I make personal development and self-development content. So in today's video, I wanted to come on here and talk about how personal development actually grows you and strengthens you and ultimately just makes you stronger. One thing that I'm going to talk about today is one great benefit that comes from it is you start to react to things so differently. And I think that that is like a huge benefit, because if you are a person that in the past you may have like really been more reactive than responsive to situations when they make you angry, or when someone makes you angry, someone that you love, someone that you care about makes you angry, you may have like lashed out on them and then did things that was costly in the end, and you may have ended up like probably finding a way to kind of ruin that relationship just based on the fact that you weren't able to regulate your emotions in that moment. And so that's something that I've had to grow from, something that I've had to learn from, because self-regulation, emotional regulation is so important when you talk about personal development, self-development. Being able to step away from a situation in the times where you feel like exploding, in the times where you feel so angry, in the times where you feel misunderstood, there is so much benefit to knowing how to do that now. And so what I like to do in the moments to regulate myself when I'm feeling really anxious, or when I'm feeling really angry and feeling like misunderstood, or just feel like I kind of have to keep reiterating myself or anything like that, number one, I don't do that anymore. If I say something, I said it, and I don't have to continue to reiterate the same thing, because that is then trying to prove something that I don't need to prove, right? I said what I said, I meant it, and I don't feel the need to kind of control how you feel or how you think about me, because at the end of the day, I can't do that anyways, right? I can only control within, I can only control my behavior. And so in that, making sure that I'm focusing on controlling my behavior and my behavior only has helped me so much. And so when I get angry and I get upset and I get, all these things, right? These are all emotions that all humans feel, right? But it's about how we handle those emotions in those times. And what I have found that I really enjoy doing, I really enjoy journaling. I really enjoy going for a walk. Like that's something like, like getting my body moving or dancing, or just kind of like not just laying in the anger, or laying in the hurt, or laying in the sadness, but getting my body moving or stepping away from the situation, right? So we're in the middle of a heated argument, I am not going to then encourage that heated argument. I'm going to find a way to separate myself from that, right? Because I know in that moment that I'm so angry or I'm so upset that it's actually an out of body experience. And I think a lot of times people don't realize the fact that like in those moments, you are not even in your body. You are not even connected to yourself. Right now, you're disconnected from yourself when you're angry, when you're hurt, when you're saying things that you don't mean. Because it's almost like your mind blacks out and you are just focused on that one thing. And so that's why it's so important to be able to take that step away and reconnect with your body. And so the way that I reconnect with my body is I like to write things out. I like to get my body moving. Another great strategy that I have found recently that has helped me as well is hopping in a shower. If I'm home, getting a shower, taking a nice shower, like doing different things to kind of almost like shock your body, to get your body back into like, get your mind back connected to your body, right? Because at this time now, your mind is not connected to your body when you're going and you're angry and you're upset and all those things, right? And that is part of self-development. That is part of self-healing, when you are able to react differently to different situations. Because in the past, when I would get in a heated argument, let's say with like an ex-boyfriend or anything like that, it would be like so easy for me to just like lash out. I would just like be like cursing the person out, or just like so angry, so upset with the person, and that got me nowhere. In fact, that pretty much like just caused the relationship to just kind of diminish, because now we're going back and forth. Neither one of us are regulating our emotions in that moment. Both of us are having screaming matches and arguing back and forth, and it's like, what is the purpose of that? What is the point of that, right? And then you say something you don't mean, or they say something they don't mean. You can't take those words back, and then now here you both are, just feeling hurt, feeling angry, feeling disoriented, feeling like, did this person ever really care about me? Did this person ever really love me? Because in those moments, we are not even connected with our body. We are just saying whatever we can at that moment as a survival mechanism. And it's not even that we're saying things that we truly mean or truly believe, but it's in that moment we are not in control of our emotions, and we are too busy trying to control what that other person thinks about us rather than controlling within. And when you develop, when you practice self-development, when you practice personal growth, you will use so much more of your time focusing within, and you will see the result outwardly. But when you try to focus on outward things, that never changes anything within. Never. Because you are too busy blaming your ex-boyfriend, or blaming your family member, or blaming whomever did what to you about why you reacted the way that you did. And that is, number one, lacking accountability, self accountability, but it's also to getting you nowhere. And so when you learn to be more responsive in those moments, and just say, you know what, right now, let me respond to my emotions. Let me get in tune with my body, because right now I'm just not feeling connected with my body, and I'm going to say or do something that I truly regret. And that is actually strength. That is strength. That is not a weakness. That is not walking away and just saying, you know what, I need this time right now. That is a strength. That is not a weakness. And you may have someone in your life right now telling you like, oh yeah, you just run away from problems. That's what you always do. All those things. No, do not fall for that. Because as long as you are coming back to the issue at a later time, when you feel a little bit more regulated and you're able to really have that conversation with a clear conscience and a clear mind and calm down, that's all that matters, right? When you are running away from your problems or running away from issues is when you say, yeah, let's talk about this later, and you never come back around to it. That's when you're running away from the problems and the issues, because now the issues and the problems are never addressed. But I think it's so important, especially for people with anxiety, to understand that there is strength in being able to not act on that anxiety, and being able to say, you know what, right now I'm not at a place where I can really have this conversation, because I am out of body, because my anxiety is high, my anger is high, whatever it is, and I don't have to have this conversation right now. The person is not going anywhere. In fact, they're more likely to go somewhere that I don't want them to go if I act on this anxiety and I say things that I'm going to regret and say things that I should not say, more than, okay, let me respond to how my body is feeling right now and say, I'll come back to this at a later time. Because now I can be much more responsive in the conversation that I have with my partner or with my family member or with my friend than what I'm able to do right now. Because right now I'm going to do something that I really don't want to do, or I'm going to say something that I really don't want to say, and I'm going to end up getting the result that I don't want. Because ultimately, the result that we want in those moments when we're upset or when we're angry or when we feel misunderstood or when we feel really anxious about something is fear. That's what we're fearing. Like we feel, or we're fearing like, you know what, this person obviously doesn't understand who I am. This person obviously has a misunderstanding about who I am. This person obviously just doesn't get me. This person thinks the worst of me. This person doesn't love me. Whatever those things are that's going through your mind at those times, and you're fighting against those thoughts. You're fighting against those thoughts, and you are articulating that, and you're being reactive to the person. And ultimately, what it does is it validates everything that you already believe. Because once you say those things and articulate those feelings that you're feeling inside to that person in a reactive way, now they don't want anything to do with you. And it just validates those thoughts that you are already having, that like, okay, they obviously are not understanding who I am. They obviously think I'm a malicious person. And then now you're showing through your actions that like you're doing malicious things because you're really angry. And so that's why it's so important to take that time away and connect to your body. And that is why self-development is so important, because if you don't take out the time to understand why you are reacting the way you are, sit down and remove yourself, or find ways to regulate your emotions in those times, in those moments, you are always going to be focusing on the person outwardly rather than the inward. And like I said, looking outside does not get you results, but looking inward will get you all the results that you are able to get, depending on the level of work that you're able to put and willing to put in. So that's really it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I thank you so much again for tuning in, and I'll see you again in the next video. Thank you so much and have a great day. Bye-bye.